Thread Life with Belle. Yeah, I said the live show is starting soon, so keep your YouTubes tuned to Thread Life with Belle, with Belle, with Belle. On YouTube starting very soon, so stay tuned. Belle is getting ready for you. Quilting, teaching, sewing, making lovely things. Come on and join us. It's almost time for Thread Life with Belle. Yeah, I said the live show is starting soon, so keep your YouTubes tuned to Thread Life with Belle. Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life with Belle, starting soon.
Hello, quilty friends. Welcome to Thread Life with Belle. I am here in my studio on Tuesday. It's 10:30 Central Standard Time, and I am glad you are here with me. We are having some pretty warm weather here in Arkansas. After months and months and months of rain, we are now pushing 100. So it's a little crazy. I hope it is not so warm where you are. Hello, Artisan Quilting. Hello, hello. Hello to our Threadmaster members here on Thread Life with Belle. I'm so glad to have you all here. I hope you're off to a good week. So, hello, Joy. Good morning. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you got your charm pack. Yeah, so sometimes here on Thread Life with Belle, I have giveaways. We never know when they're going to be. They'll just kind of be random, and I do them at the end of the show. So yeah, make sure that you hang in there when you're with me. Sometimes I always tell you if we're going to have one, but sometimes it's a surprise at the end. So I have some good supporters and things sometimes that I give away, anywhere from patterns to notions to fabric. So all the things. Good, Joy. I'm glad you got it. Well, how are you? Are you guys having a good week? We took a little time off last week, so I was not here on Thread Life with Belle for some relaxation and some rest. So I've come back recharged, which is really nice. I'll be doing another live this week. It'll be on Friday, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. And it's going to be all about sew tights and their cutting mats, their magnets, all of the things that I use and have used. I've been a customer of theirs. And so I am a huge fan of all the Sew Tights products. So I'll be doing a live on that on Friday. So if you want to come back Friday, you can do that. And we will have my long arm finished putting all of that together. We were waiting for a couple of parts we needed, so we'll be working on that over the next couple days. And then my goal is to practice using it this weekend, and then on Monday, I plan on doing a live to show you all my gently used long arm and frame, as well as my Butler robotic system. Just to kind of show you what I've got here in my studio. So we'll get that finished up. We had to take a little break last week to wait on some parts, plus we were out of town for some R&R. So, all right, well, thank you. Some of you are like, what are Threadmasters? Well, Threadmasters support my channel a little extra. They get little extra things as well by being monthly subscribers. So you'll get access. I've already done one a few weeks ago, a private, a pattern and a tutorial for a quilt journal cover. That was free for them. And then my new pattern, my new fabric collection will be coming out in October. And when the fabric gets here, which should be around the end of August, they will get special access to see all that fabric before anybody else. So videos and access to stuff before others. So thank you to my Threadmaster members. All right, so what are we doing today? Today is an unboxing of, this is Modern American Vintage. So Chris from Modern American Vintage, he custom makes all of his wooden quilty tools. And I've been a customer of Chris since he first started. So I think he opened his business in 19 and just started getting started. And in 2020 was when I started quilting. It was during the pandemic. And it's been fun to follow him, and he's been following me as we've kind of grown our brand and our businesses. And so I'm gonna show you the quilty tools that he makes, but I'm mainly at first going to show you what is in this travel kit box. So these are limited edition. They're pre-order. I know, Joy, his tools are absolutely beautiful. They're all custom made. I mean, he makes them himself. They're not outsourced. So this is like a collaboration. He reached out to some of us designers and asked if we wanted to do a collaboration with him. So he did, in full disclosure, send me this kit. I did not pay for this one, but I have paid for some of the tools that I have, and then some other ones he has sent me just because I use them all the time and love them. And as you know, I don't share anything with you all that I don't love and use myself. So, you know, I just feel like I've got to be honest about that. So I'm going to show you what is in this kit in Caboodle, his tools, and then he's worked with other industry companies, and they've added things to this kit as well. And then there are 13 of us designers that on the inside lid of this box, which I won't be able to show you, there are coupon codes. And when you order one of these are pre-order, so you get to pick the wood that you want him to use, and he makes those. And he'll be doing this through the end of the year. So the coupon codes are good through December 2025. So I just wanted to let you know that there. So I've got some of the other tools that I use. I'll show you those of his that I've had for several years. And then of course I'm going to show you first what's in this box here. All right. If you're joining me for the first time, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. So what's my channel about? It's sowing love and joy in the quilty world, and we make lovely things together. I show you anything from quilty tools to notions to little tips that are helpful to projects that we work on together to sometimes Stitchin' Saturdays, where we just grab our works in progress and we sew on those things together. All right. Okay, I'm going to switch to the overhead view, and I'm going to show you what is in this box here. So let's zoom in a little bit and give you guys a first-hand view of what is in this box. How many of you have any of Chris's tools? Do you have any of his tools at all? I'm curious to know, and if you do, which ones do you have? So for this kit, you'll see here it's the Maeve, so Modern American Vintage Kit and Caboodle. And basically, this is something he's worked on for several months. He's teamed up, like you said, with companies and designers, and then whoop, those are all the designers, all the coupon codes there. So when you order this, you're able to get various discounts on a lot of our websites. And then the other thing you'll need to do is you'll want to go to Chris's Instagram page. I have linked in the description box, the link for you if you decide you want to order anything of his. I'm not an affiliate with Chris, so I don't make any money off of doing this. I just love his stuff and want to share. Hello, Georgette. The first time you've ever heard of this, of the wooden quilty tools or Thread Life with Belle? Either one, I'm glad you're here, Georgette. Thanks for joining. So let's see, what was I saying here? With his quilty tools, his tools are in here, and then also products in which he's paired with other companies, and then all of those coupon codes, all right? So I've covered up the coupon codes just because you don't get that unless you get the box. So this is a pre-order, so you get to pick the wood that you want. But in the description of this YouTube tutorial, and Quilt Husband has just linked it for you, this is where you can pre-order. This link right here, I believe, is that the one you put in there, was the pre-order or his website?
Just the website.
Okay, this is his website here that Quilt Husband put in, so you can peruse that and see all of his quilty tools. I'm going to show them to you, but then I'll have him drop the link in for the actual pre-order if you decide you want to pre-order one of these. You can see all the wood that you can choose from, Chris actually let me choose what I wanted in here as well. So let's open this up. We'll do the unboxing. and you can see what is in this kit in case you decide you want to order one. Now his stuff is heirloom quality. So his stuff is more expensive than if you're just going to buy regular notions that are plastic. This is handmade. He hand makes every one of these. So, you know, for small businesses that hand make things, you know, they're just worth more. They take more time. They're very unique. And so I'm definitely just a fan of his work. So you get a sticker and his business card. He's out of Tennessee. So it's his little family. It's him and his wife and 2 children. And he is just a really kind person. And I did let him know I was going to be on live today. So he may or may not join us. It depends if he has time. He's constantly working on stuff. And he sells his stuff at some of the larger shows. So QuiltCon is one that he sells his stuff at. So if you ever go to QuiltCon, he usually has a booth there. So just to let you know. But his stuff gets kind of sold out pretty quickly because it's just so popular and limited. All right, let's take a peek at what is in here. So we'll look first here at his tools, and I'm going to set this aside and then we'll show everything else that is in there. So these are all miniature versions of his tools. Now I'm going to show you the larger versions that I have and I use. This is basically if you're going to a quilt retreat, maybe if you're traveling. So this can be used for your retreats. It could be used at home if you wanted, but also like if you're traveling. So this is a clapper, and it's also a little holder for your thread, which the other thing that's in here are 2 50-weight Aurifil thread spools, and he put in really good colors. So you've got kind of a white, a slightly off-white, and then you've got the dove gray, and we know the dove gray goes with everything, so he picked really good colors to pair up with Aurifil to put in here. So first up, what happens is there's this little secret compartment, and you know, he does all this by hand. His grandfather taught him how to do custom woodwork, and I've never seen anything like it. So for me, I love kind of the burnt orange colors, the earthy colors. So I picked this one. So we've got kind of some patchwork here, kind of in the corner. And when you open this up, there are 2 little dowels that come out. So you just close that up. So this is 4 inches. This is a 4-inch clapper that you could use for your seams when you're pressing. And then for these dowels, they fit in those holes. You just pop those in the holes there, and it will hold your thread. So you just kind of screw those in there. And then your thread, of course, it holds them. Now I've got the plastic on here. I probably should take that off so those will sit on there a little bit better. Let's take that off. So there we go. When the plastic's off, it sits on there really nicely. And you can have, you know, 2 different colors, sometimes depending on what you're working on. I do English paper piecing, so I know for me, I'll be traveling with this for English paper piecing for sure. So that goes there. And I'll show you something special that's built in here in a few minutes. You also have a matching, so the set will match when you order whatever pattern you pick. And these are pre-order because he has to custom make it. So once you pick whichever one you want, he'll make it for you. Then you've got the seam ripper, and it actually even comes with a little rubber tip, which is nice because when you're traveling, you don't accidentally want to poke yourself. And I don't know if you all know this, but do you know that your seam ripper can be sharpened? You actually wad up a ball of aluminum foil and you just stab it over and over, and you actually can resharpen your seam rippers. So there's the little cap that goes on there. And when I'm done, I'm going to show you the larger size. And I use his stuff for regular quilting all the time, and they're a little bit larger. But this fits nicely in your hand for seam ripping. It's really cute. The next one is the finger press, the seam press. So for this one, let me grab a block here. Here we go. This is a cathedral window block. If y'all know, I love these. So on the back, if you did not want to use an iron, you use this to press. So I have one of these at my station. I'll show you the larger one. This is one of his larger ones. Yeah, you're welcome, Joy, for that tip, because right, who would want to replace this? Because, you know, I mean, these are more expensive. These are not like your plastic ones. So it's like you don't want to have to replace it. So just stab it with the aluminum foil. Anyway, this is the larger one, so you can see the difference. This is the one I use. And it's not, the wood is sanded, it's really soft, but it's not painted. It's meant to kind of age with time. And this one actually has two surfaces. It has one here and one here for my larger one. So I keep this, his other tools that I have, I keep in a little jar at my sewing table, and I'll show you all these, you know, in a bit. But I just wanted you to see the difference of the size. So this is the one that, you know, is in the kit. So we'll put that back in there. And when you know, if you've ever used one of these seam pressers like this, you basically just do that and it will press it open right there at your sewing machine. So you don't have to get up and go to your pressing station if you don't want to. So that is in there. Then this is a dual action. So this is a point turner and a Hera marker, both in one. Now this is really nice because the tools that I have of his, I have a separate Hera marker and then a separate point turner. So I love that he combined these, and you've got the pattern on both sides. It's just amazing. I would love to see his process for how he does it, but I'm sure he keeps that close, right? Because it's very unique of how he gets those patterns in there. It's just gorgeous. And it's all smooth. There's no like rough edges. So that is the Hera marker and the point turner. If you don't know what a Hera marker is, if you don't want to use a marker to mark, say, your quilting lines, then you can use this. And let me zoom in and I'll show you. We'll get up close so you can see it, hopefully. You just do that and you can see the line there. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Maybe there you go, if I kind of tilt it, this is white, so it's harder to see. And what happens is you just mark your quilting lines, or, you know, if you need some other kind of line for some reason, if you don't want to use I don't use friction pins. I know some people do, but I had a horrible experience with one where the lines came back after it got cold again and it was washed and it ruined my quilt. So I don't use those anymore. So I'll either use the Hera marker or the Clover water soluble. It's like the blue water soluble marker. And so this is really handy, especially if you don't want to have to spritz, because with the Clover one, which is fine, you have to spritz the water with it, you have to spritz it with water for it to go away. This naturally will just go away. So that's what the Hera marker is for here. So there is that. Now let's look at the other things in here and I'll show you what this also does. So we'll just move this over here to the side and let me zoom back out. There we go. All right, so we also have two mini charm squares. This is Moda, so he partnered up with Moda, and there's different fabrics. There's all different kinds of fabrics that you get. This is a little more of the earthy neutral colors, which I like. And then this one is a lot of more of the bright colors. So this is Color Crush and Blossom and Blooms. And I know some of the other designers that are part of this collaboration, I've looked at their unboxings, and they're all variety of different charm squares. So that comes in there, which is really nice. Y'all, these scissors by Kohana are the cutest, darling, well-made scissors. So they come with a little, this is leather, a little leather tip, or it's a little leather cover that covers the tips of these scissors. And these are pretty sharp. So all you do is pinch them and they cut. There's a little tassel on them. And then you just put them back in that little sleeve there to protect it. So what I'm gonna do is, it comes with a tin, and I'm actually gonna store mine, I think, in this tin. Now in the tin are a couple things. You've got your thread gloss here. So if you've not used thread gloss, if you do hand work, it's really helpful to keep it from untangling. Hey Brenda, welcome. I'm glad you're here, all the way from Michigan. So this is your thread gloss, and there's no scent to it. I have one that's got a scent that's a different brand, but this doesn't have it. So you've got that for thread gloss. And you've got glass head pins. So if y'all know about pins, if you have glass head, they won't melt when you iron them. But watch what happens. He has built a magnet inside the wood here. So let me take those off. Ta-da! It's a magnet, so it keeps your pins in place. Or like if you're doing handwork and you have your needle, which for me, I would keep my needle also in this little tin too, probably maybe in a piece of felt or batting. If you're doing handwork and you've got your thread on here, your little needle will stay there. And you know what? Let's see if the scissors will stick on here. Yep, they sure do, y'all. Look. So that is metal. The scissors are metal. So you could have your needles for your stitching and then your scissors stick because so everything's gonna, like if you're in the car, I thought this is perfect because stuff's not gonna be sliding off if you're in the car because of the magnet that's in here. So that's really handy. So your thread, your needle, if you need pins, and then your little scissors all can stay there without all that shaking off. So handy, so handy. So that goes in there. I'm gonna put this back in the little tin. Let's see what else is in here. These are nice glass head pins. He didn't go on the cheap. He did not go on the cheap. Then he also put in, this is a spritz bottle. So you could put water in here if you wanted. You could put starch, or you could put the flattener spray. So Flatter is a brand that smells wonderful. I have one that's a pineapple. Or you could use, I also use Magic Crafting and Quilting Spray. So you could have that in here if you needed a little starch. Now, really the only reason I would probably use this is if I had my mini iron with me. So sometimes if Quilt Husband and I go camping, or if we're gonna stay like somewhere that I didn't usually fly and we drove, I'll bring my iron with me, my featherweight, and I would absolutely bring this because it's all like easy to travel with. So I would put that in there too. There is the most darling little 4-inch wool pressing mat. So the way this works is, now this would be, you know, mini blocks, I guess, or little mini, if for me, it would be English paper piecing likely, because when I do English paper piecing, I usually press the pieces after I'm done. So that's the same size. It's a little bit smaller than the clapper, and you can just press to make those flat. So I foresee using this for handwork, because I don't usually make blocks that are just, you know, 4 inches. So I could see using this for English paper piecing just to flatten it after I've stitched and all of that good stuff. And then lastly in here, if you know Minky Kim, she has the most beautiful labels. She's also a fabric designer. So there are 2 packs and there are 8 labels in each one of these. So one of them is little cherries and it says handmade. And then this one is an envelope with flowers and it says handmade on here too. So that, and of course he's known for he always puts bazooka gum. Any order that you make, you get the bazooka gum. So that is everything that is in the travel kit there. So Quilt Husband put the link for you if you just want to kind of look at all the different types of wood, you know, that he has to choose from. I'm in love with this one so much. Now let me show you the other tools of his that are in the larger size. Now these are the ones I use every day. So I keep these that I'm getting ready to show you over at my sewing machine, and I just reach for them all the time. So let's set this out of the way and let me show you what I've got here. So I just keep all of his stuff in a jar. It's just right there. So I already showed you the seam presser, the hand seam presser here. So you know that's how you do that. You can either use this side or I use this side. So when I started out, and I've actually got, let me see here, I've actually got 2 more. Let me grab, I actually have 2 seam rippers as well. I have 2 different sizes. And then I also have a seam roller. So here's his other products. This is the point turner. So these are the larger ones. I started out when I first purchased from him, the very first thing I got was this matching set right here, okay? So this came, and you can look on his website. If you don't want like everything you saw today for the kit and the caboodle, you can get sets. You can buy individual tools, or this came as a set, so you can see all of the wood matches. Now this one has naturally aged a little bit more because I hold it more a little bit. So you'll see kind of as your oils get in there, it's meant to kind of season the wood. So I've got this one, and then I've got the Hera marker here that I use a lot of times to mark my wood. This one I ended up purchasing next, and he was really sweet because I'm like, do you have something that would kind of match my original set? And he did. He still had more of this wood. So all of that matches, which is really, really nice. So that was kind of the order of what I purchased from him. Then he actually sent me these two things in full disclosure over time. So the next thing I got was the seam roller, and this is kind of heavy. It's nice. It's rubber, and it is glued in there, so it's not going to come out at all. It's a clear glue. This is a little bit darker, but it kind of shows you, and he's got amazing patterns. I kind of went with something simple. Again, you can just roll your seams, flatten them open if you don't want to have to get up and use your iron. And then lastly, I've got this seam ripper here. And this has got a little bit more of a design, and it's got a longer handle. I keep this one usually here at my cutting station, and then the smaller one I keep over at the sewing machine. So I have two of those there. So those are the tools that he has. If you decide, you know what, I don't need the whole kit, but I would love to get kind of some other things, then you can just kind of keep going and adding to it. Now he also has clappers that are large. I mean, we're talking large clappers, like big clappers. Like, I don't know, maybe 12-inch clappers. He's got smaller ones. He's got ones that are maybe 6-7 inches. So just look there on his website and see, you know, all the stuff that he's got. And again, these are like heirloom quality, all of his stuff that he's got here. Definitely heirloom quality. If you look at this and I think about, man, if my grandmother had had this and she'd left all this to me, I mean, this stuff's not going to break. It's solid wood. What a lovely gift. Or if you've got a quilty friend or a daughter or granddaughter, you know, that's responsible, I think it would make a great gift too. So I'm excited to use this to travel with, honestly. Like I said, when we go camping or if I'm going somewhere that we drive for vacation, this will be what I'm going to take with me to have all my little things that I need. So that is the Kit and Caboodle travel kit. I wanted you guys get to see that. If you don't know about Chris, he's a really great guy, does everything by hand, quality work, just great customer service. So you may want to go over to his website, and if you're on Instagram, he posts a lot of stuff on Instagram, and I've put all that in the link for you guys. All right, any questions at all from you all? Anybody got any questions? Let me look over here in the chat. Quilt Husband has pinned it for you at the top if you decide you want to pre-order it. Georgette, I'm glad you found something new. If y'all know me, my slogan is make lovely things, and I also love lovely notions. Now I know, you know, the budget doesn't always allow for that, and so you've just got to do what works for you. But if you can splurge, his stuff is just absolutely beautiful, and you don't really have to replace it at all. You just end up kind of wanting to add more to it because it just makes everything so pretty. And I do a lot of photos too for my business, so it's always nice to have pretty things in there also. All right, friends. Well, that is the Kit and Caboodle from Modern American Vintage. If you're curious about Chris and his work, links below for you there just to learn a little bit more about him. He will be at QuiltCon, I believe he said in February, which this year QuiltCon is in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the weather usually cooperates because it's, you know, kind of still in the south. So it will be there. And then the year after that, I'm not 100% sure, but they've been rotating between Phoenix and Raleigh. So it's very possible that in 2027, it could be in Phoenix again. And I go to both of those too. So if you happen to be at any of the shows, then let me know and I'd love to see you. Yeah, you're welcome, Shannon. I'm glad to share. You know, some of the things I do sometimes are sharing products that I use, and I'll never share anything with you that I don't use or I don't love myself. It's not worth it if I've not had good success with it or anything like that. So sometimes I'm an affiliate for some of the companies that I have bought things for, and then sometimes I'm not. So with Chris, I'm not. So I don't make any commission or anything off of that, but he did send me this kit. He did send it to me, but I can say in full disclosure, I already have purchased from him before all of those larger items. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan of. You're welcome. All right, friends. Well, if you don't have any other questions for me today, that is the end of our live show. And I'll be back on Friday afternoon about 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can click the little bell for the alert. I'm going to be going over the Sotot system. So I have 2 of their mats, their rotating cutting mat, their rulers, their boosters, and I also use their magnets for English paper piecing. And I also am getting ready to use them for my long arm. You actually sew them into your leaders to be able to not have to pin your quilt tops and your backing to your leaders. So if you want to join me on Friday, I'll be doing that. I'll probably be doing a stitching Saturday this weekend. So if you want to grab your UFOs, we'll stitch together. I'm working on a cathedral window quilt for a baby gift for a friend of mine. So that's probably what I will be working on. And then my plan tentatively is Monday afternoon. I plan on doing a live with my new long arm. It's on an 8-foot frame, and I say it's new. It's used. It's gently used, and we've almost got it put together. So I'll be doing a live just to kind of show you the 8-foot frame, which is kind of small, but it's not the smallest, and kind of show you where it's at, kind of the parts and what's involved. And I plan on playing around with that a little bit this weekend, hopefully. So that's the plan. All right, friends. Well, yeah. Georgette, his handmade items are superior. They really are. You're not going to find anything like them. So I hope you guys will support Chris. Go give him a follow on Instagram and join the giveaway. So the giveaway is through, I believe, the 27th. So I think it's through Sunday. If you go to his Instagram account, there is a post of the kit, and you'll also see there's an Aliso iron. I have thrown in I've thrown in my jumbo alphabet clips and number clips. So these are valued at $45 a piece. So those are in there. One of my patterns, and then the other designers have contributed patterns. Let's see, there may be a wool mat. I mean, it's a huge giveaway. It's huge. So if you guys want to pop on over there to his, let me see, I don't think I can get to it from here. I'm not going to pull up the website, but just look down in the description box for his Instagram and go take a peek, and one of you could actually win. So I think you have to follow him, like all of the people that are contributing, and then you're automatically entered in there. All right, friends. Well, it was great to be with you today. I'll be back here on Friday, and then possibly this weekend for a Stitchin' Saturday, and then on Monday, hopefully to show you all about the long arm. Thanks for joining me, everyone. And for those of you that are new, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share with your friends. Until next time, quilty friends, make lovely things.